I wasn't at any time ever trying to be a jack of all trades, because I understood very quickly in this country that all work and all businesses are broken into little pieces, and people are expected to be a master, an expert in that little field. So I stayed in pharmacy and I mastered it.
Welcome to Create Your Own Economy with Bunmi Ajibade, the podcast that empowers corporate professionals ready to break free and transition into entrepreneurship with confidence and clarity, as well as business owners looking to grow and scale their businesses. If you're exhausted from building other people's dreams, leaving you little time or energy to focus on what truly matters to you, you are in the right place. Each week, we provide actionable strategies, expert interviews, and real-life success stories to help you turn your ideas into thriving business. Ready to take bold, clear steps toward life and business you deserve? Let's get started. What does it take to leave the structure of a corporate job behind and step into the freedom of entrepreneurship? And have you ever wondered what it takes to leave that structured comfort to the exhilarating world of entrepreneurship? Our guest today did just that, and I cannot wait for you to hear from him, because he will be discussing the importance of being adaptable as an entrepreneur and to know when to pivot as a business, as the business dictates. Welcome to the Create Your Own Economy podcast, where we empower corporate professionals to leap into entrepreneurship. And I am your host, Bunmi Ajibade. My special guest today, Dr. Adekunle Tometi. As I said, he's going to share his journey, his inspiring journey as a pharmacist from the structure world of corporate, dynamic corporate, fulfilling job as a pharmacist, to becoming his own boss, to having a series of his own pharmacists, a series of compounding pharmacists that he founded. And he will take us through the challenges, the breakthroughs, and the different pivot moments in his career, and how he's also transitioned from his corporate job back in Nigeria, even into the US, and moving from the lowest point to becoming a mid-manager in corporate America, and before transitioning into his own business. And, today is packed with insights and strategies, and you won't want to miss it, and share it with somebody else, because this is real life with Dr. Tometi. He has many lessons that he wants to share with you. So let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Adekunle Tometi. We all call him Kunle. He is a skilled business development professional, and he has built about 5 pharmacists from the ground up over the past 20 years. And while he was in corporate America as a pharmacist, he actually built, or not built, but he developed 20 CVS pharmacies, or launched 20 CVS pharmacists, even as a pharmacy manager, as a district pharmacy manager for CVS. And the 5 pharmacies that he built by himself, his own pharmacies, all those pharmacies were sold or acquired by CVS. He is an entrepreneur with vision, and he does not fail because he learns from his mistakes, and we call it failing forward. And every time he cannot wait to share his learning with others. And he says that his mission is to empower other people, to empower pharmacy professionals. And he has empowered a lot of pharmacy professionals, and he does that a lot. He is a distinguished member of the Nigerian Association of Pharmacists and Pharmaceutical Scientists in the Americas. He actively contributes to strategic business planning, personnel management training, and medication therapy management. Kunle is also involved with Dallas's local Nigerian Pharmacists Association, NPA. As an experienced managing partner, Kunle has a proven track record of driving success, delivering exceptional results. He excels in business development, multi-unit store management, and leadership. His strong strategic planning and people management skills have made him an invaluable asset in his field. Dr. Tometi is into other businesses, including real estate development. So, Kunle, would you just tell us how you decided to go from being a successful pharmacist to then becoming an entrepreneur?
Thank you very much, Bunmi, for inviting me to this podcast. I am very humble that you chose to speak to me about this. We've had a relationship for a long time.
Yes.
I really thank you. Yes, switching from being a paid employee or being in a staff position, I wanted to do things different, line position. It's always been something I wanted to do, not particularly just because of what I want to gain, but I always wanted to be able to go into entrepreneurship so that I can master it and open the gateway for all our people too that want to go into entrepreneurship. I was saying this only a few days ago to a few friends that God has his favor on me such that he always brings me into a place where people have never really been to before. And I have that commitment that whenever I get there, I keep the door open for many more people to come in and not just shout it and just reap the benefits of it alone. It looks like often I always have to go there, learn it, and assure that knowing that the more of us that are empowered, the better for all of us. So I often are the one who takes that initial risk. Yeah, and it's always been rewarding to me. So why did I switch from being a highly compensated executive to going into independent practice? Yes, it's always been a plan when I was coming from Nigeria that I would work in the system for 10 years. I would learn the system. I would apply myself. I would go from the entry point of being a cashier, being a pharmacy clerk, to being a technician, and move all the way to being licensed and being a pharmacist, so that I can learn every facet of the business of pharmacy in America. And I did. It was in one of those phases that I met you, Auntie, and we
Yes.
worked together.
Yes.
Yeah. So I put in all that time, even up to and including management, being a mid-level multi-unit manager in corporate America, so that I can learn the front end of the business, the back end of the business, the things that take place behind the scene that workers really don't see, the implication of maintaining good benefits to hire high talent, good talent, the importance of regulatory compliance, the importance of maintaining relationship with vendors, the importance of knowing where your shortcomings are as a manager, and the things you have to hire to cover that gap. The importance of how do you manage market entry in this environment. It's quite different from what it entails in Nigeria.
Yes.
I learned all for it when 10 years came. And I am thankful for the system. It was nice, fair to me. Again, this system will reward you if you are fully committed and applying yourself. There's always a difference in having a salary mentality and having an hourly mentality. The salary mentality, I've always had that. And what does that mean? Meaning that you will stay the course until everything is done and you deliver the goals. And that's what I always brought to all my opportunities, all my work. So it wasn't that difficult for me to call time, knowing that I had already given myself that timeline. On this timeline, at the end of this, I will move on and dabble into entrepreneurship. But I had to make sure that I stayed in one area, that which I'm good at, learn it, master it, and then made forays into entrepreneurship. I wasn't at any time ever trying to be a jack of all trades, because I understood very quickly in this country that all work and all businesses are broken into little pieces, and people are expected to be a master, an expert in that little field. So I stayed in pharmacy and I mastered it.
Yes, thank you so much. There's so many things that you said. I mean, whatever you just said for a few minutes, those few minutes are packed with so much. One of the first things that you said is knowing your purpose. Your purpose is not just about you, but God has designed you to put you in a place, not for yourself, but to be a forerunner, to know something and then to make it accessible to other people. And I have seen you over and over and over again, making that accessible to other people, to our people, and not only Nigerians, but to other nationalities. And for that, Kunle, I want to thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
I want to thank you for that. Yes. And the other thing you said that is so important is giving a timeline. So for those of us listening to us, and you are in corporate America or corporate anywhere, you have a job, you are an employee, you are a paid employee, and you want to go into entrepreneurship, you need to give yourself a timeline. That is what he has just said. And the other thing he said is mastering every part of the business, because when you have your business, you need to know what goes on in the business, and that is what he did. You it's not that he is going to be everything, but he needs to have an idea what goes on in his business. Thank you for sharing that. So when you then started your own business, were there times that you had some issues, some problems in the business, and how did you overcome those problems?
Well, thank you very much for the question. Let me just share a few points about the last comment you just mentioned. First is you should tarry for a while. I say tarry, what we call tarry in your Jerusalem. You remember when the apostles had to go into the small room and wait for the Holy Spirit. You have to tarry and wait. Yes. It is in that moment of when you tarry that you discover your purpose. I discovered my purpose very early in this society as pharmacist empowerment. What that means is wherever I am, I must be available to help a pharmacist get to the next level, help them get to their goals. That's why pharmacists will call me for a job. I pick up the phone, find them a job. Pharmacists will call me. Just this morning, I've had 4 calls from pharmacists with one problem with their business or whatever. Yes, I tarried during that time, and I learned that 10-year timeline was the time to tarry and learn and know where my calling really is. So that's important. That timeline also helps you make a lot of communication, a lot of connection with your family, because you can't go on these things by yourself. Okay. And that timeline also helps you master the business, as you say. And you find the things that you're not an expert on, and those things you have to outsource. So the question you just asked me now is, remind me again.
If you are, when you started,
when I started,
come up with problems.
Did I have any problem? Yes, I did. I mean, there's no business person that will tell you that they never had a problem in their business. They're not saying the truth, really. Again, it's like a student that graduates at the graduation, and they tell you they never burnt the late night candle. That's not true. so yes,
challenges, right?
yes. There are always opportunities. I won't call them problems. There are always opportunities.
Challenges, yes.
Yeah, there are always challenges. That it takes one being very nimble, takes one being very humble in learning. And it takes one being assertive and taking control of those opportunities. Then you can manage them to the desired outcomes that you want. Yes. Prior to me leaving the corporate job at CVS as district manager or district pharmacy manager, I think I opened about 20 stores for CVS. Wow. Yeah, in all my district where I was, in fact, the district pharmacy manager, and then Eckerd, beg your pardon. And with that, I get a notice that, okay, a store is coming up in this area. You need to go look at that area. You need to start looking at what we're going to do different to make that store successful. I never got involved with the planning, the back end of it. All I know is the store is opening on this date. The store will get ready on this day. You have to get your team to stock this store. You have to get your team ready to open on day 1. I never saw the backside. That backside is where a lot of people put in a lot of energy in what we call marketing. Okay. And if you live in Ghana, where you live, for instance, if the CVS is opening, you will get mailers. Prior to that time, you will get all these coupons. File prescription, do this, we'll do this, we'll do that. I never was involved in all that back end of the business. All I was supposed to do is get staff ready, get people ready to go on day 1, get the inventory up, get the computers running, and get pharmacists get taxed. So to me, it was like it was like that popular saying of build it and they will come.
And they will come.
Yeah, that was what all of that led me to believe, not knowing that was before competition. I wasn't talking about for competition. So my first pharmacy was the most beautiful pharmacy I ever built.
Wow.
But at the day we were opening, which is T equals 0, I had not spent any money on marketing and I was broke on that day. So I didn't see that part, that in fact I needed to spend money on marketing. I needed to get flyers, get mailers. I needed to go to the local chamber of commerce. I needed to go to the local communities, cookouts and all of those. I needed to meet people. I didn't know about that, but I built a pharmacy. It was excellent.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, the chamber of commerce came. They did the ribbon cutting, but at that time, which is typical of most entrepreneurs funding their business, you arrive at your opening and you're broke because you spent all the money getting the business right. So
all the money.
Yes, that was my first challenge. And again, as an African coming from a cash-based society and not a credit-based society like America. We always want to own our own thing and we're averse to debt. But the fact remains that in this society, based on all the positives we have going for us, we can actually leverage that and get money, get credit to make sure that we actually do better than coming in and spending all our monies.
Spending your own money.
Yes. Yeah. So that goes to, in that timeline of 10 years, one has to start planning, especially in the last 3, 4, 5 years of getting your finances in line, getting your credit in line. Because it's with good credit history and credit numbers, you're able to actually draw a loan towards financing your business. And after that first one, that's the way I do it going forward.
Yes, definitely. I mean, we all learn, you learn from that first one. Oh my goodness. I love what you said, build it and then they will come. Have we not all had that situation when we assume that the product or the service, every entrepreneur, we all believe in our product. We believe that this product that I have, this service that I have is the best. And everybody need to be happy that I have this product. And they all need to just come. And it's always an eye-opener when we are then struggling. It's like, they should be happy. They should be coming. But you know what? They will not be coming. So if you want to encourage people, what are some of the habits that you think an entrepreneur coming from the corporate world need to have to be successful in their own business? What are some of the habits that they need to have to be successful?
Well, firstly, the way you perform in a business that's not yours, the habits that you develop when you're working for somebody else, the habit that you develop when you're working in a corporation, are those same habits that will follow you to your own business when you eventually start. Now, I was talking earlier on about having a salary mentality or an hourly mentality. Let me define those for you. An hourly mentality is that person who doesn't give anything extra. Just, it's scheduled. This is it, 40 hours, I'm going. They're not committed to the success really of the organization. They're only committed to their pay.
To their pay.
They're only committed to the money. You can't tell them, look, I want you to take this leadership position. They say no. You can't tell them, I need you to come in for a meeting because we have new goals coming up. No. You can't tell them to do anything extra. They just want to go to that, get there, make a lot of, become a stumbling block to the progress of the organization, and then they leave. The salaried mentality person is somebody who goes to work and believes they can't leave until everything is done. They are those people that if you call them to do anything extra of their scheduled hours, they're very happy to go and support. There are those people in pharmacy, for instance, you call them, hey, we need to have a vaccination clinic at General Motors because we have about 500 people that need vaccination. Can you go for it? Those are the people that will, in fact, those are the people that will find those opportunities. This kind of people are also the people we say you always find them in line positions, meaning they are the people that are identified because of their commitment and talent to move up in the organization. These early people are people, they are in staff position, they don't want to go nowhere, they are just there. And the reason why I say this is those habits that you develop in the corporation or where you work, the tenacity, okay, to go through things, the nimbleness, to be able to understand that your idea might not be the best, the nimbleness to be able to listen to other ideas, open to other ideas, the ability to manage people correctly, okay, to manage each individual based on their idiosyncrasies, because people come differently. The importance that you understand that you're only as good as the weakest link that you have.
Yes.
Also, that you understand that people really don't care who you are until you show them how much you care.
Yes.
People really don't do anything for you because of your position. They do things for you because of the relationship. Understanding that you have to build relationships. These habits are so important.
Yes.
If you don't build these habits of accountability, holding yourself accountable, being the first to hold yourself accountable before you start holding accountable. The habits of managing, when your manager comes to you and say, look, you got to manage this thing to payroll. You have to manage your expenses to management expected levels. When you develop those habits of working with the budget and the goals that you've been given, those same habits are the things that will work for you when you eventually go out and be your own business owner. So it is important during this timeline that you give yourself to transition, that you learn these things and you manage yourself to conform into all these demands. Because when you eventually go independent, when you eventually go to manage your own business, businesses don't make money from day one. Even if the money start coming from day one, all of a sudden you start seeing all these expenses you never thought were there. So it is important that we apply ourselves where we work, that we learn the systems where we work, that we learn how to relate and manage associates where we work, that we understand the importance of changing direction when things are not working, and we should be very nimble and fast at it. We should also understand that in fact we are the manager and the leader of our business, and we must be ready to lead it into profitability as quickly as we can.
So going back and really looking at somebody that wants to really, it doesn't really matter where they are in employment, whether they're a pharmacy, whatever industry they are, whoever is an employee and they have been thinking about really starting their own business, what advice would you give them?
Oh, sure. First thing first, it is important that we recognize that it is not the size of the dog in the fight, that it is the size of the fight in the dog. What that
What do
means?
you mean by that?
Okay,
Okay.
what that means is not how we perceive their intention to go into business. It is, in fact, their level of commitment within themselves to going into that business. And if you put it back again, you see that's why a small dog will keep fighting a huge dog, because it is not a function of size. It's a function of their commitment within themselves. So the first thing that I would do when somebody comes to me for an advice is recognize or try and prod them to gauge their level of commitment within themselves to going into business. And I would try to moderate myself in the manner that I don't discourage them, but I will bring all the facts that I have based on my experience to the table for them to see and take with them to help make up their mind whether they want to go into business or not. And I've had a few, even in this office where I sit in my house, that have come and I've counseled them on my experiences, and they decided it's not the right time for them to. And I've had a few.
It's like, not yet.
And I've had a lot that hearing that it gives them an opportunity to go back and redefine or redesign their plan and cut out a new entry level, and they'll be successful at it. So some of those advice I would bring is my experience, and with other people's experience, in making sure that the home front is completely in agreement with them. By that, I mean is your spouse, if you are married, is 100% committed to going into this entrepreneurship life with you. Entrepreneurship life is not easy. Practical implication, number one, that salary you bring home, no matter how little, may not come home for the next 3 to 6 months. Mm-hmm. Even if you're seeing that amount of income coming, you're still pouring it back into the business to try and get the business in a fine spot. And so if you don't bring that money home, a lot of things may suffer. Paid on time, car notes, children needs. So part of all that planning is that planning 3 years, 2 years, a year, is you have to get all that discussion and all that finances. You have to get that right. It may be, we're not going to buy a new car. We're going to manage this car for the next 3 years that we have. Mm-hmm. It may be, we're not going to move into a new home. We just manage this place where we are for the next 3 years. It may be simple things like, we're not going to go on vacation. We're not going to travel for the next 3 years until we get this business right. You must have that conversation before you decide, okay, we're going into this business. Sometimes you may have decided you're going into the business, but you can't make that leap really until you've gotten a buy-in from your spouse, because you're going to ask a lot of the spouse. It might be that they may have to work extra to bring more money in to help you. Are they willing to do that? Okay. It may be their lifestyle and the things they enjoy might have to be cut short for a while, because you have to get the business aligned and get the business moving. If your spouse is not in agreement, and you can't really blame them and kill them for their opinions, because there are a lot of blind spots that we have, entrepreneurs, that we don't see, but our spouses see them. And so if you sit and discuss with your spouse, they will find, at the very least, if you're so gung-ho about going into entrepreneurship, they find a middle point to balance the family's needs and help you move forward. The second thing I would advise people is it is critical that you understand the implication of regulatory affairs in the states. Get your licenses together. If it's not pharmacy, you must make sure that simple things like permit from the city. Simple things like, are you in a business that the city will offer you a permit to operate? There was a pharmacy I opened in Ennis, Texas. I moved that pharmacy to Garland, Texas, because there's a relationship with practice and it's a nice place to have that. I actually moved it on a weekend, and on Monday, we were beginning to start talking to the city to get certificate of occupancy. And then the city came back and told me that, oh no, a retail pharmacy is not allowed in that building. That building began the place they call the industrial area. You can't keep a retail pharmacy. It took me a year to go to the city, like 7 times, attended a lot of city meetings for me to be able to state my case before they finally agreed and modified that plan for that area for me to put an operating pharmacy in that place. So for 1 year, that pharmacy just laid dumb.
Wow.
And we continue to pay rent and pay.
The whole year.
Whole year. It was a pharmacy that was operational in another city, but we moved it because we wanted to move closer to Dallas, and not knowing that all of this things with the city has to be in line with what we wanted to do. Eventually, we did it. I think I sold that pharmacy right after they agreed to allow us operate it, because a whole year was a lot of money down the drain.
Yeah.
And so these things are important. Your family, what are implications of regulation? And then the big thing is, what about funding? Okay, how are you thinking about funding this business? Is there a grant you can get? Can you talk to the banks and get financing? If I'm opening a new pharmacy now, I will not only seek for money to open the pharmacy, I'll seek for money for my salary, even for the next 12 to 18 months, to be included in the funding that I will get. Because I would hope that in 12 to 18 months, I can start to pay myself within that business. But during that 12 to 18 months, I wouldn't want to be without an income. So some of the money and the loans I will seek for would include all that. If I was going into partnership with someone, that's another thing I have to consider. Who is this person? Do we have the same goals? Are their families aligned with my family goals around this business? What part of the task are they going to be responsible for? Am I the professional who is the, say, pharmacy compounding now? Yeah, I'm skilled at that. Am I the ones going to do all that work? What would they be doing if they're not the professional? Yes. Are they going to be responsible for all the administrative part of the business? Are they going to be responsible for the hiring? Are they going to be responsible for bookkeeping? Are they going to be responsible for all non-professional part of the business? What percentage of money do they have to bring to compensate for the fact that they are not the professional whose license and whose skills are really on the line here now? So all of these things you have to discuss. You don't go into it with an assumption that I is my friend. No. It's different.
No, it's different.
It's different. Another thing I would advise an entrepreneur is, look, we're not all very skilled at everything. There are some things for which we have a shortcoming. We are not skilled at it. I'll give you an example. As a pharmacist, I'm very, very skilled in profession and the professional being a pharmacist. But there's some things I am not skilled. An example is and these things take away from my time and concentration of being the best pharmacist I can be. Simple things like computer installations. Simple things like my internet is down. Simple things like, I need to buy a new computer system. I actually contract that out to a technician. Yes. This technician, up to today, even though I'm not operating a business, that technician is still on a retainer. I pay him every quarter, very small amount of money. But whenever I have an issue with computers in the pharmacy business, he will sit down there for a day or two, make sure it works. Same thing with phones. I have a contractor for that. Simple things like payroll.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to spend time sitting and collating everybody's hours and cutting
Mm-hmm.
checks and paying the taxes to the government at the right time. No, I contract all of those to a CPA. Simple things like generating my business reports, profit and loss,
Profit and loss,
balance.
yes.
All of those things I don't do. I contract those things to a CPA, and I have a retainer that I pay them either weekly, monthly, or I pay them once a year. Simple things
Quarterly.
like responding to letters from either regulatory body, the DEA, or anything that requires a formal letter. I actually retain relationship with the law firm. Very small amount of,
Mm.
but they do all that on my behalf. So if you brought me a letter today and say, "Hey, we have an issue," uh, uh, misfeel, or we have an issue, this person did something that's not right. If it's a legal issue, we just send that memo to the lawyer takes care of it. If we have an issue with the Texas Work Commission about an employee or a former employee disgruntled about payroll payments and whatever, we send all that to the CPA. Takes care of it. We don't do any of those, and we just continue to pay that small retainer that we pay them. So it is
Yes.
important that as you begin to go into business, you also learn these things. That the things you are not an expert on, don't hesitate to contract it out so that you can get better bang for the buck, and also you can use your own time to really concentrate on the things that you're good at.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Tometi. Thank you so much. Look, I've had you know I love you already anyway. So we've gone way back over 25 years. I've known him over 25 years, and I just love the wisdom that he has, and he loves to share, and he shares his own experience. He doesn't hold back, and he lets you know that, look, I made this mistake, but I won't make it again. And this is how I overcame it. And that is how it is, you know? So I know that as an entrepreneur, when we start the business, we don't have a lot of money. We know that. You know, he said it too. He opened a store that same day. He has zero when he opened the store. But you don't have to be in the same position. You know, I hope you didn't miss that, what he said. There's so many opportunities for you not to use your own money. There's so many opportunities for you. There's so many things that you can do. And as you are thinking of moving from being an employee to having your own business, you know, I have a free opportunity for you, a free worksheet that, you know, I have a 10-step to success, some things that you can really go through. Some of these things that he mentioned are there. So look through and then look at where you are. There's sometimes you think you are ready, but you can go back and say, you know what, I think I need to look at some of the things. I have an appointment today with somebody who actually went through that, you know, the 10-step to success of moving from being an employee to having her own business. And after going through that, she scheduled a free 30 minutes clarity session with me to go through and ask me some questions. So you also take that opportunity, and you see the link, you know, in the notes section of this podcast. Take the opportunity. And if you also want to speak with Kunle, I know, look, Kunle is very, very busy, but if you are serious about where you want to go, he will text you or he will find time to speak with you. You can reach him. You will see his link or on his LinkedIn. You can reach out to him. Dr. Tometi, I want to thank you. Every time I knock on your door, even your wife, you have taken me as a member of your family, and your kids, especially your daughter. I love her so much. So thank you so much. And I know you will come back when that new business is out. I know I will be there. I know I will be there. Yes, and thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for tuning in to Create Your Own Economy with Bunmi Ajibade. I hope this episode gave you the clarity and inspiration to take the next step in your entrepreneurial journey. If you're a corporate professional feeling stuck or unfulfilled, and you are thinking about starting your own business, but find yourself asking, how, what, where, who, or when, I invite you to download my special curated guide, Transition from Corporate Professional to Entrepreneur, the 10-step guide for success. This guide is designed to make your transition smoother and less stressful. Afterward, schedule a clarity call to map out your personalized success path. We invite you to write a review, like, and share this episode with anyone who needs this information. See you in the next episode.